The skies over Ukraine have become a deadly and relentless battleground, a theater of war where the stakes are impossibly high. Every moment brings the threat of aerial assault, and the nation lives under a constant shadow of fear. Ukrainian cities and critical infrastructure are under constant and devastating Russian attack. Power plants, hospitals, residential areas, nothing is spared from the rain of missiles and drones. The damage is not only physical but also deeply psychological, as civilians live in perpetual anxiety. Kiev's urgent and increasingly desperate plea to Western allies is not merely about military strategy or territorial defense, it is fundamentally about national survival. The ability to protect its citizens from aerial bombardment is the difference between a functioning state and a humanitarian catastrophe. Without a robust and effective air defense shield, Ukraine faces mounting and unsustainable human and economic losses. Each strike chips away at the nation's resilience, destroying not only buildings but also the very fabric of society. This relentless assault is threatening its ability to resist the ongoing Russian aggression and defend its sovereignty. The stakes could not be higher. NATO is under immense pressure to effectively support Ukraine's defense while simultaneously ensuring that its own member states are not left vulnerable or exposed. This balancing act requires careful consideration and strategic planning. Supplying advanced air defense systems is now a critical test of NATO's unity, resolve, and its collective industrial strength. Can the alliance ramp up production and deliver the necessary equipment in time to make a difference? Ukraine urgently needs a dense, multi-layered network capable of intercepting devastating ballistic missiles and the increasingly prevalent and cheap drones that are now a staple of modern warfare. Patriot missile systems are undeniably highly effective, but they are also incredibly scarce and prohibitively expensive, forcing NATO to make agonizing and strategically difficult choices about resource allocation and deployment. The ongoing struggle to adequately arm Ukraine starkly exposes Western vulnerabilities and limitations after decades of relative peace and declining defense investment. While modern wars are undoubtedly won with extraordinary battlefield courage and unwavering resolve, they are equally dependent on robust industrial might and the capacity to produce and deliver the necessary weapons and equipment. The decisions that NATO makes now will profoundly shape Europe's future security landscape and send an unmistakable message of support and solidarity to Kiev, while simultaneously signaling the alliance's unwavering commitment to deterring further aggression to Moscow. The Patriot system, a highly sophisticated and effective air defense mechanism, is at the top of Ukraine's wish list. They see it as a critical tool to defend against relentless aerial attacks. But the Patriot's scarcity presents a significant dilemma for NATO. It's not just about wanting to help, it's about the practical limitations of available resources. Stockpiles are thin across the alliance, stretched by ongoing commitments and the increased demand from Ukraine. This scarcity is, in part, a legacy of post-Cold War cuts, when defense budgets were slashed and military production scaled back dramatically. The assumption was that large-scale conflict was a thing of the past. Donating even a single Patriot battery, while a powerful symbol of support, means risking gaps in national defense for the donor nation. It's a calculated gamble with potentially serious consequences. Germany's offer to send 2 of its 9 Patriot systems to Ukraine comes with the crucial condition that the U.S., the original manufacturer, must replace them quickly to maintain Germany's own defensive capabilities. The U.S. is now considering reprioritizing existing defense orders, potentially delaying deliveries to other allies, but the process is slow, bogged down in bureaucratic hurdles and complex diplomatic negotiations. Every decision has a ripple effect. The shortage extends far beyond just the launchers themselves. The interceptor missiles, the very ammunition these systems fire, are in critically short supply globally, and current production rates are lagging far behind the soaring demand, creating a dangerous gap. Each Patriot battery is not just a single piece of equipment, it's a complex, integrated system, requiring significant logistical support, specialized maintenance, and highly trained personnel to operate and maintain it effectively. Therefore, every Patriot system sent to Ukraine, while vital for their defense, is one less available for NATO's own collective defense, potentially weakening the alliance's overall security posture. This forces a delicate and precarious balancing act between supporting Ukraine and ensuring the security of NATO member states. The West must urgently ramp up defense production across the board to meet both Ukraine's immediate needs and its own long-term security requirements. But significantly increasing production capacity is a complex undertaking that inevitably takes considerable time and investment. This dilemma starkly highlights the urgent and critical need for a stronger, more resilient, and faster defense industry capable of meeting the challenges of a rapidly changing world. The Patriot system, a symbol of advanced air defense, comes with a hefty price tag. It's not just the hardware itself, but the entire ecosystem that supports its operation. We're talking about a sophisticated network of radar, command centers, and interceptor missiles, all working in perfect harmony to protect against aerial threats. That price tag, about $1 billion per battery, reflects the cutting-edge technology and the immense research and development that goes into creating such a system. It's a significant investment, representing a substantial commitment of resources. This high cost makes it a rare asset, carefully considered and strategically deployed. Nations don't just casually acquire Patriot systems, it's a deliberate decision driven by specific security needs and threat assessments. For many countries, even those with robust economies, sending one to Ukraine represents a major financial sacrifice. It's a decision that requires careful deliberation, weighing the benefits of bolstering Ukraine's defenses against the potential strain on their own national security and budgetary priorities. And the expenses don't stop there. Each interceptor missile, the very weapon designed to neutralize incoming threats, costs over $4 million. This creates a lopsided battle and economic asymmetry when facing off against cheap Russian drones. It's a situation where a multi-million-dollar missile is used to destroy a drone that costs a tiny fraction of that amount. Using such expensive missiles on relatively low-cost drones is simply unsustainable in the long run. It's a drain on resources that can't be maintained indefinitely, forcing difficult choices and strategic recalculations. This unsustainable cost dynamic forces tough choices about which threats to intercept, prioritizing targets and leaving some vulnerabilities exposed. It's a constant balancing act between risk and resource allocation. Russia is keenly aware of this and actively exploits this cost imbalance, using it as a key element of their overall strategy. By employing large numbers of inexpensive drones, Russia aims to wear down Western resources, forcing them to expend valuable assets on relatively insignificant targets. And the problem is compounded by the fact that manufacturing new Patriot systems is a slow and complex process. The production timeline is considerable, about 2 years per battery. This lengthy lead time means that even if a decision is made to increase production, the impact won't be felt for quite some time. While Germany has plans for domestic missile production, these efforts are focused on the long term and won't provide immediate relief to Ukraine. Furthermore, training crews to operate and maintain these complex systems is another significant bottleneck. It takes months of intensive training to prepare operators to effectively utilize the Patriot system's capabilities. This training period adds another layer of delay to the deployment process. So even if new systems are delivered to Ukraine, the challenges don't end there. Ukraine still faces considerable delays before they're fully combat-ready and able to effectively integrate these systems into their existing defense network. The logistical tail, encompassing comprehensive training programs, seamless integration with existing infrastructure, and ongoing maintenance requirements, slows the delivery of these life-saving capabilities to the front lines. The considerable cost, the significant time investment, and the inherent complexity of deploying Patriot systems all combine to make every decision surrounding their use a critical one, demanding careful consideration and strategic foresight. Ukraine's need for enhanced air defense is immediate and pressing, but the solutions, unfortunately, are slow to materialize, creating a challenging situation on the ground. Former President Trump's proposal, U.S. weapons for Ukraine but Europe pays, has split NATO. Some Eastern allies are open to the idea, seeing it as a way to speed up aid. But France and Italy reject paying for American Patriots, pushing instead for European-made solutions. Their stance is about building European defense independence, not just economics. The debate exposes deeper questions about transatlantic burden sharing and strategic autonomy. Trump's plan forces Europe to confront its reliance on the U.S. security umbrella. The resulting friction threatens alliance unity at a critical moment. The future of NATO support hinges on resolving these divisions. Europe faces a tough choice: help Ukraine or risk its own security gaps. Sending Patriots or SAMP-Ts to Ukraine means fewer defenses at home. Yet many leaders argue that defending Ukraine is the best way to defend Europe itself. Weapons sent east are seen as investments in collective security, not just aid. France and Italy push for the SAMP-T, aiming to support Ukraine and their own industries. But SAMP-Ts are also in short supply, and ramping up production takes time. The Buy European approach is strategic but doesn't solve Ukraine's immediate needs. Europe must balance short-term risks with long-term security and industrial independence. While Patriots grab headlines, Ukraine's daily threat is swarms of cheap Russian drones. Using million-dollar missiles on thousand-dollar drones is unsustainable. Ukraine needs rapid, cost-effective counter-drone systems, guns, jammers, and microwaves. These systems can be deployed quickly and free up advanced assets for bigger threats. But integrating new tech brings logistical and training challenges. A coordinated, standardized approach is needed to avoid a patchwork of incompatible systems. Neutralizing the drone threat is a race against time, and vital for Ukraine's survival. Diplomatic talks in Istanbul continue, but hopes for a breakthrough are slim. Russia and Ukraine remain far apart on core issues. Most progress is limited to humanitarian agreements, not a lasting peace. The air war shapes the leverage each side brings to the table. Russia uses missile strikes to pressure Kyiv. Ukraine's air defenses strengthen its negotiating hand. Military realities drive diplomacy. Well-defended Ukraine negotiates from strength. A vulnerable Ukraine faces pressure to concede. The real outcome will be decided in the skies, not the conference room. Supplying Ukraine with air defense is NATO's defining challenge. The alliance must balance moral duty, limited stockpiles, and slow production. The Patriot crisis reveals deeper weaknesses in the West's defense industry. Internal divisions, over Trump's proposal and European autonomy, complicate unity. Success would show NATO's strength. Failure could embolden Russia. Stopgap measures are needed now, but rebuilding industrial capacity is the long-term task. How NATO responds will shape Europe's security for decades.